Hey crafters, this is Paulette. It's time for May's name tag, and this is the little image that we're doing in this sentiment. A mother is the heart of the home, and I thought that went just wonderfully with these little hearts on the shutters. I've got my little cheat sheet here. My cardstock is 2.5 by 3 1/4, and it's to fit in these little at the office badges that just clip on to your shirt. I've already stamped this really sweet little image. This is a really fun stamp set that's retired. It's called Sweet of You, and it has these really sweet images, and I really played around with all 3 of these images, but the window was what I liked the best. So that's what I ended up doing. I've already stamped these in Night of Navy, and I have dried them with my heat tool. Because when you stamp with the dye-based ink, it will bleed a little bit as you color it. So let's get started. I talk way too much. We're going to do our roses in Real Red. You know, a lot of times when I do these, it has to be in stages because I'm daycare for my grandbaby. And so things usually have time to dry really well before I actually get to my painting part. But I was in a hurry on these, so I just went ahead and dried them with the heat tool, and that's just fine. It's the same difference. The longer they sit and dry, the less bleeding you'll get. If you do it right after you stamp it, it will bleed quite a bit. Let's get rid of that. The window is really watered down Tempting Turquoise. And I'm just going to slosh that on here. This is a pretty good size window, and it comes way down in amongst the flowers, so I didn't realize that when I actually chose it, but that's okay. It went fairly quick. I had to give my paintbrush a haircut. I need to buy new paintbrushes. All these paintbrushes are from when I was doing acrylic painting on furniture and stuff, and so they're really wore out. They're all frizzy on the ends. They don't have that nice rounded point anymore. So the window comes way down, all the way down to the flower box. Okay. We'll give that a chance to dry. Let's do the hearts. That is going to be in Pixie Pink. And I've got a lot of water in it to get it down to the right color. It's pretty potent pink. We're not worrying about any shading or highlights today. We're just putting the color on. The leaves are going to be in Old Olive. Okay. The flowers, the daisy-like flowers, I ended up using Rich Razzleberry. I have another pretty purple stamp pad, but the reinker for it is not the right color. So I ended up using the Rich Razzleberry. And I think it's okay. On my test samples, I used crushed curry, and I just didn't like the way the yellow bled out. It wasn't very bright. I colored a few in my Crayola markers, and then that was like too vibrant, too bright. And this ended up being just right, so it all worked out. And then we'll do our sentiment while these dry. I've already got one ready. I used some Dusty Durango cardstock and my Ranger archival black ink, and I've stamped that on here, and then just use my modern label punch and just line this up and punch it out. It just barely fit. I can get it even on the top and the bottom. That's pretty good. Alright. And then I'm just going to tape those on with my Scotch ATG. And then this is going to mimic our flower box. And I don't know why I ended up making it like clay pot color, but that was my thought. It probably should have been light blue or something. And I just covered that up. This punch needs some help. Alright. So there those are. Let's go ahead and stamp May, because our window panes have been dry for a little while. Because my calendar stamp set is so big, there was no place I could put this and have that work out. So I ended up using my Just Right stamper, very small font, and made the word May, and we're going to stamp it right in the window pane right there. So I've lined M-A-Y up right here, and then I have put some bigger fonts over here so that when I stamp, this isn't teeter-tottering. So let's get a little bit of ink here, and we'll stamp those just, if I can get them close enough. And you can see right through the clear block. I love this clear block. You can see right where you need to go with it. There we go. We got our maze on there. And now all we need to do is put our flower centers in. I'm using Pacific Point for that. It seemed very much like a sapphire. And I just really love the way it popped within the flowers. So, and it kind of went with this whole blue outline as well. It just kind of tied it all together. How are we doing on time? Oh, we're spanking on time. We're at 8 minutes and something. So here, let's shoot those just for a second. Dry that up. There we go. When I never practice when I'm getting ready to do these, and I'll tell you why. Because it gets completely out of control. Now that ended up being what I chose. Ultimately in the end. But here are all my practice pieces. So this is why I do not practice. I always have in mind an idea, and some of these were okay. Some were better than others. That one was pretty good. That was terrible. This one wasn't bad. You know, between these and one of these would have been okay. Those weren't too bad. We had made this beautiful, beautiful card at card class a couple months ago. And this was Lucky Limeade, and I don't know what this blue was. It was one of the pale blues. And I have Tempting Turquoise, which is this blue. But it just it just wasn't working out. Now this ended up being really nice. Actually, you know, I could have lived with either two of these, and I probably should have done that. That would have been a lot simpler than all of this, but this just didn't go. I wanted that sentiment, or I wanted my sentiment to show up really good. Are you having fun? And so, I don't know. I ended up doing this. And maybe we'll do this for one of the other, like August or something. That would be lovely for August. So anyway, if you have any questions, be sure and let me know.